Good morning and welcome back to DJ's Workshop. Today we're going to be working on the Arctic Cat 650 and we're going to be doing an oil change on it. So we did the summer projects we needed to do, and now we're getting ready for winter mode. You can see that we have the snow plow back on here. So I want to give it a fresh oil change. When it's plowing snow, it is working a little bit, so I want to make sure everything's good. So I'm going to show you guys how to do it. It's not that difficult. Before we get started though, I would like to ask you guys to please give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't, just to help grow the channel a little bit. So let me get my stuff together. I'm going to get the engine warmed up so we can get the oil flowing, and then I'll show you how it's done, so stay tuned. Alright, so when you get under the machine, the first thing you got to do is you got to get the skid plate off, and you can see there's a series of T30 bolts along the cover that you need to get out. So we're going to go ahead and take those out first, and once we get the shield down, then you'll have access to the oil filter. I'll show you where that is, and then the oil drain plug for the engine is under here also. So once we get this out of the way, I'll show you. Okay, once you have the shield down, now you can see you have access to the drain plug. The oil filter is actually right there. There is another cover here in the wheel well area that we'll have to take off just to get access to that. So let me take that drain plug out. We'll get the oil draining, and then while that's draining, we can get the filter out. Okay, so you can see we get the oil draining now. While you're doing that, you might want to take the cap off of the oil fill just to let some air in there and help it flow out a little bit better. Okay, now we're going to get this cover off the inner fender liner over here so we can access that filter. Okay, once the oil's drained, then you want to put your drain plug back in. Just make sure you use a new crush washer on that bolt just so it doesn't leak. Alright, so now we got to gain access to the filter over here. So we got to pull out this inner fender liner first. Okay, so there's a series of screws that you got to take out. Now inside there's a couple there too, one up there. I loosened up that shield there. Now when you try to remove this, it's very difficult because this plastic is hitting the framework over here. So what I did was I just cut a little piece of this off of here like this, and by doing that it's going to allow me to get this out of the way, where before I couldn't because it was hitting over here. So that's just going to make it easier for me to access it in the future. Okay, so there's your filter right there, and just by moving that out of the way, it's going to now give you access to it. So let me get that unscrewed. So this filter actually has a nut on the end of it. That's a K&N filter. The ones I purchased recently don't have that, but it's not that big a deal. I guess that would just make it a little bit easier to get it off. So let me get this filter off of here. We'll get the new one installed. Okay, so you can see you can actually put a wrench right on the end of this and use that to loosen it up. Okay, once it's loose, put the oil pan down there. Alright, and I'll tell you what filter this is in a minute, just in case you want to get it, because it's kind of nice with that nut on the end of it. Okay, this is a K&N Performance filter, and it looks like it's, oops, I just switched the numbers. It was a KN 204 something, 204-1 maybe. Yeah, I just switched it, so I can't figure it out now. But I ended up getting some aftermarket filters. But we get that one off of there now. We're going to clean up the mating surface and we'll get the new filter on there. Okay, so these are filters I got off of Amazon. I got a 3-pack. And you can see it's the same other than the nut on the top of it. So we're going to put a little oil on that O-ring there, and then we'll get this installed on there. Okay, so now that we get the filter back on there, I'm going to fill up the oil, and you're going to fill it right through here. This takes about just a little under 2.5 quarts. I'm going to use this Valvoline ATV UTV 4-stroke oil. This is a 1040. So we're going to put in 2. We'll put in a little bit less than a half a quart, and then we'll recheck it. Okay, so right now I got just a little bit more than 2 quarts in there. I want to start it up, let it run for a minute, circulate through the oil filter, and then I'll recheck the oil again. Alright, now when you check the oil on this, you have to do it with the stick all the way in. Okay, so you can see the marks, the low marks, the high marks on there. Alright, we're going to stick it all the way in here. Take it out. Okay, right now she's looking like she's right on the full mark. So I think we're just right where we need to be. Alright, so what I'm going to do, before I button this all back up, because it's basically just a reverse procedure, just putting all the plastics back on, I'm going to get out my power washer and I'm just going to wash off the framework under there, just because I never really get this apart, and I can see it's a little grimy over the years from, you know, use and whatnot. So I just want to give that a quick wash. So that's about all that's involved in the oil change. It's not that big a deal. Just getting to the filter is probably the hardest part. You gotta just take a couple of these plastic pieces off. Like I said, I cut off a little piece on the corner there just to be able to pull this out of the way to gain access to it. So that's about it. Now this is mainly a utility vehicle for me. You know, I use it around the yard. I plow with it. I do a bunch of stuff with it, mostly work stuff. I do get it down in the woods once in a while just to go through the trail, but nothing crazy. If you guys have one of these, this is actually the V-twin one. If you have one of these and you use it for off-roading, you know, if you just use it for a recreational vehicle to have fun with it, drop some comments down below. Let me know how this thing does, how you guys like it. I'd love to be able to take it out on the trail somewhere. Unfortunately, where I live, there's a lot of woods, but they don't let you ride. They'll let you ride dirt bikes, but they won't let you ride quads, and God only knows why. So I just basically play in the woods with it a little bit, but nothing crazy. So if you guys have one and you like it and you enjoy it off-roading, let me know how it is. I'm curious. Alright, so that's about it for now. I'm going to get it cleaned up. I'll get it put back together, and then she'll be ready for the winter for some plowing. And I do have the snow blower also. If it gets too deep, we'll be using that. Alright guys, well, hope that helps. If you're planning on changing the oil on your Autocat, if you like the video, give a thumbs up, a share, a like. Be sure to subscribe, and tell your friends. I'll catch you later.